SIDS, Cot Death, losing a young infant. That's a topic of my YouTube today. And for me, I have to go back many years. As I'm 70 years old now, I go back to when I was about 23 years old. My wife was pregnant and due. I already had one child, a girl. And in my family, there were 4 boys. The eldest had all girls, the 2 in the middle had boys. Me being the baby, I had a girl. So really I assumed I was going to have a girl. Anyway, the month was February. My birthday's the 18th of February. On the 17th of February, my wife got rushed to hospital because our baby was due and prem. So as the scene unfolded, we had a baby boy, which I just couldn't believe. The excitement I felt, not that I really wanted a girl or a boy, it made no difference to me, but I just was so excited, I have to admit that. Anyway, Adam, his name, he was born on the 19th of June, about 12:05, so he just missed my birthday. Anyway, Adam spent the next month or so in hospital being a prem baby, and anyone that's had a prem baby, you just cannot imagine how tiny they are. They are so tiny. Anyway, Adam fought on and was getting strong every day, and finally he came home. He struggled for a while with the bottle because we had to feed him a bottle, and slowly as time passed, he was getting stronger and stronger, getting bigger, putting on weight, and looking like a baby should look. Then one morning, I woke up and all I heard was my wife scream. I knew something was wrong. I rushed into Adam's bedroom, and there was Adam, face all bruised, black, and it was obvious that he'd died. So anyway, Adam then died a cot death. The rest you go through, the funeral arrangements and so on. And I remember the day of the funeral, walking through that church, actually carrying my son's coffin. And for anyone that's been to a funeral of a child, you just cannot comprehend the size of the coffin. So we went through that motion. I got that done. Then the funeral at the funeral grounds. I remember my friends coming over, and that day I've never seen so many grown men just crying like babies as they were sorry for me. But time marches on, and I think I spent about a week at home, and I just said to myself, I can't sit here and just sit here and waste my life, just idle my time. I've got to go back to work. So I went back to work, which is a bit more difficult than I realised. A lot of the people there it was like the people at work weren't ready for me to be there. They were just, some were in shock that I was actually back at work. Again, I had grown men come up to me, my friends at work, crying. So I found myself consoling them, which was extremely strange. But as time went on, I gradually got used to going back to work. Then one thing I did, I just felt lost, or I was going to miss Adam or forget what he looked like. So one night I just decided that I'm going to put 2 earrings in. So I did it the old-fashioned way with a block of ice on the ear and just press the sleeper through. And those earrings have been there about a month after Adam died, and I've never taken them out, and I never will take them out. So it's not that every day I look in a mirror and look at the earrings and notice Adam, but every now and again I just see it, and it's like he says, "G'day, how you going?" And life goes on, and I feel good about it. Another side story to that, as time went on, people at work would come up and go, "Oh, you know, why you've got 2 earrings in? Who do you reckon you are?" And I said, look, if I tell you, you're not going to like it, so, don't worry about it. But there'd be some that would keep pressing, and in the end you'd tell them. And of course they'd feel bad, and I said, I told you, they're there for a reason. So you think about life differently then. That broke something or scarred me like I can't fix. I know when it comes around to my birthday, I can't celebrate my birthday. I don't want anyone to say happy birthday to me. I don't know whether that's right or wrong, but it just makes me feel comfortable. Then of course the next day is even worse. I just don't want to know about anything. So I'm sort of very quiet on those days. And I know there's people, plenty of people, that the same thing has happened to. And it does scar you, but it also shapes you. It shapes you into the person you become. You can deal with a lot more things than you realised. Like, I was 23 when that happened to me. I mean, most people at age 23, they're still infant. They don't know what's going on. But I had to handle that situation. I had to keep going. And I learned back then from early age that the sun sets and the sun rises. It doesn't matter what you're going through in life, but the sun's going to rise tomorrow. So you just got to get up and get on with the job. I mean, there was other things that happened there, like religion. Religion's been a hard thing for me now. Back then I was a Catholic, and I don't know, I couldn't forgive God, I suppose, for how could he take my son, a little baby like that, and that scar still hasn't healed. There were so many things that happened that they just don't heal. I remember as a month went by, and after they do all the tests in regard to the Cot Death, and they find nothing wrong. They can never find anything. They don't know what causes it. We were told to go see this, I guess, counsellor, and I remember I walked into the room. It was a young girl. Well, I was 23. She only looked in her 20s as well. And she turned around after talking for a little while and said, well, you two, me and my wife, we don't realise how lucky we are. And in my mind I said, lucky? And she said to us that, most people's lifeline is just a little up and down. She said, but your lifeline, you're going to have more ups, reach higher than anyone else has reached, and more downs, and feel more down than anyone's felt. And all I felt was rage. I felt like getting up and I can't say what I wanted to say to her. Anyway, I went out of that room, and as time went on, years went on, decades went on, she was so right. To think about it now, I've had so many ups and downs in my life that I just didn't think was possible. But I wanted to address this one thing of Cot Death or SIDS, because I know there's plenty of people out there that it's happened to. I just want to know you're not alone. You'll never forget. You love the rest of your kids, there's no doubt. But that one child that you did lose is always in your heart forever. And I think I'll just end it on that. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. And take care and be strong. Jack.